Welcome everyone to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing for round number 12 of the Silver class. I am Seafreeze here today for the stream, and I will be bringing you the action in Spa. We have a wet qualifying session, a little under 3 minutes to go, and let me get the results up here. Give me 1 second. So sorry about that, everyone. So we are back here. I'll get the results up from what had happened last week before we get to the end of qualifying. Right now, Arrow is up on pole, but he is retired from the session as Nelsie has a shot to improve on his time, although the gap between the two are quite big at the moment. Last week we ran at Baku, and we saw this man right here, Nelsie, get his first win in TCR, and he goes for a spin in his Alpha there. Oh, would you look at that? Ultimate. So he's not going to get pole position today. Ben up into a nice P3. You usually don't see him up there, but that's actually a really nice qualifying from him, as well as ultimate. So good for the pair of them. But last week it was Nelsie who had taken the win, and his teammate Deathwish got second. So it was a Haas 1-2, followed by F1 Racer in P3. In the closing laps of last week, we saw the championship leader Belgian, who was all the way down in P13. Once again, not doing so well in quali. He's on his out lap. He will get an opportunity here. He spun it in the last two corners of Baku due to high tire wear on the soft tires, and he had lost a bunch of points in last week's race. So as far as the championship goes, Blin has 137 to F1 Racer 130, followed by Nelsie 121, and then Sir Charles in fourth 111. And rounding off the top five is KGB with 96. So it's very close. It's actually anybody's game. We have 5 races, including tonight. Next week we are off, by the way, and then we finish our American swing with Brazil, Canada, US, and Mexico, as KGB goes quickest here. That's a really nice time by the Racing Point. F-Ball gets up to P4, although he still has an opportunity here. Let's see who will take the momentum going into this race. Pole position. Let's ride on board with the McLaren driver to finish his lap. Spa's it's a very difficult track in the dry, let alone the wet. I don't know how the race will be, but I do know it's wet here as he gets a little wobble. But it looks as if he may improve, maybe not. Alright, maybe not, he's coming in. Alright, next driver is Deathwish coming into the bus stop. Let's see if the Haas driver can improve. Number 34. Get on the traction very hard with the rain, and up to P2. Next driver is F1 Racer, P4, and Blin goes P4 as well, so right in front of the Mercedes driver. Those guys are all your championship contenders. I think you got to watch out for the top 5. Like I said, Blin, F1 Racer, Nelsie, who's in P6 right there, Sir Charles, and KGB. As KGB does get the pole. pretty sure. Yep. And I think he's still on the lap, so he may improve yet again. As far as the constructors' points, I'll go through that quickly. You have Haas at 205. That's Deathwish and Nelsie, the Renaults of 180 points. That's Sir Charles and Dorian. They're sitting at 10 and 11. You got the Toros team of Blin and I think YBN Steven, who's in P13. I have 143. Mercedes 138. McLaren 115. You got Racing Point, Alpha, Red Bull, Williams, and Ferrari. Still on no points is the Ferrari team. That's upsetting. Hopefully they get some points. Alright. So in a few moments time we will know if it is a dry race or maybe a mixed race. As soon as we get going. So there you have it, KGB getting the pole position for today into the intermediate tires by half a second over Deathwish, followed by Arrow, who's been quick as of late. Blin, your championship leader. F1, Nelsie, not too far behind. F-Ball, Ben, Ultimate, Sir Charles is your top 10. And there on down we have Dorian, Dolphin, Steven in the Toros. Fire Up, Robin, same, not a nerd who's reserving. And Gold Raider, who did not get a time in. I think he retired early from the session. Remember, if anyone is interested in joining TCR, whether it be driving or just a part of the community, you could join on our website. The link is in the description of this video, trinitycompetitorracing.com. All the information is up on there, and you can take it there, as we will get a dry race for this Grand Prix. We also have the Acho driver as well. He is supposed to be driving, but I think for some reason got kicked out with the spectate thing, so now he's joining the grid. So it should be pretty interesting. Let's see if these guys ready up soon. Predictions, I say this every week, you gotta say them now or otherwise they don't count. Also, well, before I say that, I think it's also a good idea to see what tires everyone's starting on. Everyone gets free choice of tire since it's now a dry qualifying session. So we will see what they opt for. And here we go. Alright, so we got 19 drivers for today's Belgium Grand Prix. There's the lineup, like I had said. I'm not going to go through it again. Although, look at the Torosa driver. He had his helmet above the car. That was actually kind of cool. I don't know if you guys caught that, but hopefully the video has seen it. That's actually kind of interesting. Oh, let me see the tires. I'm out here talking about tires. I don't even got the tires up. See, alright, there you go. We got that. That's off. We're gonna keep that on. There we go. Alright, so for tires, the Arrow and Blin actually went for the mediums. They're gonna try to go for a little bit longer of a stint. And then maybe hop on the softs towards the end of the race. It's a reverse strategy, I would say. The hards, they last a while. They're pretty slow. The softs and mediums should do just fine around here. There should be a few different strategies, undercuts, overcuts, and things like that, but you really shouldn't need the hard tire unless you get damage on lap 1. So, based off of this, I will say that these guys are actually on preferred strategy. because I think they will have the track position by the time people start to pit. I think once the tires start to go off, we might see a safety car, and I think that Arrow and Blinn, if they keep their positioning, they're going to stay out. They'll have the track position if we do get that safety car, and then if they do have to put the softs on towards the end of the race, they're going to be blistering quick. So I'm actually going to go... I'm going to say KGB for the win. I think he's got the speed to do it no matter the strategy. But I do think Blinn will get a nice solid P2. And I'm going to put F1 Racer in P3. He's been doing good as of late as well. So KGB, Blinn, and F1 Racer for your top 3. Those are my predictions. If you guys are watching, put your predictions down below. Otherwise, they don't count. Alright, here we go. Let me take a sip of my water here before we get going. It's going to be a crazy race here at Spa. There's a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of overtaking opportunities. Oh, I like that camera angle. And we're racing here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we are on your way here in Belgium for the silver class, as the Haas in the background gets a terrible start. KGB will get the inside line over Deathwish. Deathwish goes wide onto the curbing, as it's the racing point heading into a Rouge, followed by the Haas. Arrow, Blinn gets the position on F1 Racer. Everyone looks good so far, but it's Deathwish who's going to try to make the lead. He's going to try to take it. As they are side by side, I think the racing point will get it back in the background. We got Blinn and Mercedes, and it looks like KGB will keep positioning. There on after, we got Arrow, Blinn, and the rest of the drivers. F1 Racer trying to make a move. We have a little bit of a yellow in the back. That seems to be Robin. He had a little spin in the chicane, and there he is. He has a little bit of a chip of a wing. Ben and Sir Charles going side by side through Pouan. Nice battling here on the opening lap. Ben on the mediums. Ooh. And Sir Charles is going to lose some position. Ultimate takes advantage. Steven as well trying to take advantage. Will he get it? Let's see. Nope, he's going to lose out to the Renault driver. So we go back towards the front, although I wait. Same TJ, my bad. And there we go, safety car. So, wow, I thought we would last a little longer, guys. Oh, we got like some smoke. Look at the McLaren. Looks like he's got some smoke coming out of that engine. Let's see who pits. Deathwish decides to pit. Whoa, a couple guys. Oh man, we got a couple retirements. So Robin, Acho, and Same is out. So we have a full course Yeller. So who decided to pit? We got Deathwish. He did go into the hard, so he's trying to go long ball. He's trying to do a little long ball here. As well as Ultimate. He's playing some long ball action. Sir Charles and Downward got on the mediums. They're going to have to do a 2-stop here today. Dorian is on hards, my bad. So he's going long ball as well. Let's see who stopped. So it's Deathwish on down besides Not a Nerd. Although I think he's pitting now. So 11 on down. So we'll probably get going, on to lap 4, I would say. So we got a little bit of a dull period. I think it's a good time to mention that TCR has an affiliation link with Fanatec, if you want, who is probably the best in the game when it comes to sim racing wheels. If anyone is deciding on buying or purchasing any Fanatec products, if you use the link in the description, a portion of the sales do come back to TCR, so we can use it towards making and bettering the league altogether. So if anyone's interested in that, that is in the description. So what up, Bam Bam? He says, let's see if those hards make it 20 laps. I think they will. I just think they'll be pretty slow in the end. So it's definitely not preferred. I'm not too sure why Deathwish, especially a driver up towards the front, opted for that. I mean, if we don't get a safety car, he could probably, you know, he wouldn't have to come back in, but he's so far back he's going to get held up. I don't know if it's worth it at that point. So we're just waiting on not a nerd, the Ferrari, not a nerd. And I think they would get going. I think next lap they'll be get going. But I gotta like this a little bit more for these two guys right here, Arrow and Blinn. I think that with the safety car, maybe KGB could get a couple extra laps on the softs, but he's losing grip. Even though they're going at a slow speed, he's losing the grip, he's losing the temperatures in the tire, and I don't think he's getting the max out of it. I think if it would have stayed green, I think maybe he would get that sort of time advantage that he would have had. But I think now at these speeds, I think the race comes a little bit more into the hands of these two drivers, because they'll be able to really push towards the end of this race, and they're all grouped up. So got a little strategy going on. Let's see. Ooh, here we go. The biggest movers, although obviously everyone didn't do their pit stops, but right now Gold Raiders up 8, Deathwish down 9, obviously since he pitted, Fire up as well, and Dolphin and Steven up a good amount of positions, so it could play a factor. Maybe those would be some pretty good races if they maintain that. What up, Failed? Strategy is looking like a pretty... the tire wear is not too bad here. Soft to medium should be very doable. But safety cars can definitely throw a wrench in the plan. And it could switch some things up. But the hards last forever here. It's just... to me, they're not quick. Alright. So safety car is in this lap, so we can finally get our action going. I hate when there's a safety car the first lap of the race, because it's just such a anticlimactic start to a race, you know. So we're about to get going. KGB on the softs. You gotta slow down a little bit, I would say. He's gotta wait for that safety car. He will be get going right now as we get a green flag here. And we are resuming racing in Spa. KGB got a really good jump off there, so there's no threat from out behind. Steven and F-Ball. F-Ball makes a move on Steven, the Toro Rosso driver. We also have some guys in the back. But as of right now, these two, who's going to lift? Oh, Toro Rosso. Oh, no! He's got to get it clean back up. We do have ghosting off. He's got to be careful, and he does so. All right, so... Man, that got me nervous. It got me nervous from a couple seasons ago. As we have Dolphin on the inside, really on the inside of Nelsie. And he's maybe going to make the position. No, he doesn't. Gold Raider gets a good jump, though. Dolphin with the poor exit. and locking up the brakes. Seems like Gold Raider will be ahead of Dolphin Chaser. So all these guys who just pitted, oh, and Dolphin gets a little bit wing damage onto the wall there, so it's not the best of starts from the Williams. Alright, let's go back up towards the front and see this battle with the Mercedes and the Torosso of Blin. Man, F1 almost hit that barrier out there. It's a very difficult corner coming onto this little backstretch we got. So we have a couple moves here. The McLaren drivers going at it. So F-Ball will be ahead, but Fire Up slowly behind. Nelsie's also looking for a move down the inside in the bus stop. And will he get it? Yeah, I would say. DRS is not enabled as of yet. 3 wide as we go into turn 1. I think that's Fire Up in the insider. No. Who is that? That's F-Ball. Fire Up loses the positions there. So, man, Fire Up lost maybe 3 positions going into turn 1. There's a little wobble from Golderator, but he seems to keep it straight. Nelsie looking for a move. And he'll get that position there. Or not. Where'd he go? Where did he go? Where did Nelsie? He's gone. What happened? Oh, Nelsie. Safety car, another one. Oh, here we go again. Oh man, the safety car at Spa is probably the worst one you could get, because now we're gonna be sat here for 10 minutes now. Now that's changed. The KGB should probably pit on this lap here. Probably put the mediums on. Now I think this favors KGB, because if he could put the mediums on, they should last towards the end. They will last towards the end if you do a little bit of management, but he should come in right now. Yeah, and he is. So this is a beautiful play. Beautiful. Now KGB is favored here. Arrow and Blin. Maybe not. Although they do have the track position, KGB is back into the fire with everyone else. So anything could happen when you're back in the middle of the pack. A quick stop there. So that changes a little bit of the strategy. Now I think KGB might have the preferred strategy. He's got to get out of these guys. Yeah. Oh, he's losing the positions. He's going to stay right behind Sir Charles. Nelsie, I hate my license. I just threw my chance of the championship. I wouldn't say that. I mean, you definitely don't want to do that when you want to win a championship. But my question is, where'd you go? I didn't even see where you I knew it was somewhere over here. I don't see no cars or anything. But you just kind of disappeared. I'm gonna say this now, and this might come back to hurt me, as commentators' curses is such a thing here in TCR, especially when I start saying things. But Ben is on for a really good race, I will say. He qualified pretty well. He's up to P4. He still has to make a pit stop, I think. Or maybe did he not? Wait, hold up. He even pitted. He's got 4 laps on the mediums. He'd probably have to pit again, but Ben and Ultimate have been doing pretty good in this race so far. So maybe this thing will turn around. Maybe they get a nice finish for themselves. But if it stays up like this with safety car after safety car, they could probably jump into the pits and maybe, you know, save their race a little bit. Nelsie Baby said that I got on the curb way too much and it just kicked my rear out and I hit the wall. Yeah, that'll happen. Especially in that incident right there. Yeah, you hate to see it, folks. I will say though, Nelsie, while you're listening, as the Ultimate comes into the pits, you did have a really nice stretch of races besides Italy. I know you had that puncture there, I'm pretty sure. But you racked up a lot of podiums. You got your win last week. So you've been improving a lot, and I like to see that. But I wouldn't say the championship's over, because we still have a lot of racing left to go. Blinn is the leader of the championship. He's the lead contender at the moment. F1 Racer would be your closest guy. And I wouldn't, there's a lot of guys who can still compete for this championship. Blinn Machine's mistake last week at Baku, if you guys did not see it, I would watch the race, especially the ending of where his race went south. And that gave the other guys a little bit more of an opportunity to close up and make it interesting, which I like. While we're in the safety car tomorrow, don't forget to tune in for the Golden Class, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, for the Belgium Grand Prix, round number 12, just like here. And Thursday for the Premier Platinum Class Division, 8:15 p.m. Eastern for the Belgium Grand Prix. And like I'd said earlier, this is the last race before next week we're off. We have an off week next week, and then we return with 4 races left, and those include Brazil, Canada, United States of America, and we finale in Mexico. So those are your final 4, and that's where the championships will be decided. One might get decided tomorrow, and that is Failed in the Golden Class. He's got a nice lead, and he's looking to close that up. I think he needs 3 more points to clinch tomorrow. So, if you want to see all the clinching numbers, and if this happened, you come tomorrow and watch. I know we see a lot of that in today's Formula 1 age. If Lewis Hamilton finishes 6th or higher, and this and that. So we will see that tomorrow for the Golden Class, but these guys are ready to go back racing, as Arrow will get the call. He will be the guy leading the pack, and he's gonna get going here as we are back green in Spa, hopefully for a good amount of time. As he's got a good entrance. Single file, really single file, all throughout. So we have Death Wish on Golderator into the chicane. He will take the position. We'll have to keep an eyes on KGB. He was the leader of the race. He pitted under the safety car, so he might get his positions back. We'll see. We'll track his progress. As Arrow is able to almost get around over that second, which is crucial here with the DRS. If he is able to do that, it might look good for him. Well, through this middle sector, Blinn seems to catch up a little bit, but I think Arrow is definitely quick on the straights. We have F1 Racer in P3. As Sir Charles is very close to Ben. He's going to try to make a move. A KGB is going to try to make a move. Let's see how they go into the chicane. These guys are crazy. Into the chicane. KGB around the outside of the Renault driver. He's going to take position. So in an attempt where you thought Sir Charles would have made a move, it's really KGB. Although he's going to try to fight back here. But I think he'll have to hold. He might get a good exit though. Alright. So DRS is still disabled, as we've had safety car after safety car. Should be enabled, I'm pretty sure, next lap. As Blin is closing up on the lead. It's about a half a second. Got those two Mercedes sitting on the podium as of right now. You gotta expect F1 Racer to pit here in the next few laps. He's on those soft tires, 8 laps. And we have KGB closing in on the Red Bull. Those are probably the freshest tires out there. As he's going to make a move on to the grass, and KGB's out. Wow. And a VSC comes out. Maybe a little bit of an impatient move from the Racing Point. Trying to go side by side. He got squeezed onto the grass by Ben, but I think, I don't know if Ben didn't see him. It was kind of a late move. It's tight to go through there. Such high speed. And if KGB probably would have waited another straight, he probably would have had that position on him. Now he finds himself P15 on softs, which won't even get him to the end. So he'll have to do another pit stop. As we are back green, Blin, Machine, right on the back of Arrow. As one of these days we'll get DRS here. I still think it's been disabled this whole race. I've never seen 10 laps with no DRS. But I think it maybe was enabled last lap. I'm not too sure. And maybe I missed it. Yeah, Dre says it wasn't a smart move to go there. I agree. I think this race would have been, it would have fell right into the laps of KGB. I do believe. I think a little sense of urgency, perhaps loss of focus. Those things happen, but you know, it's a tough spot to overtake, no doubt. So we have Fire Up trying to make a move 3 wide, coming onto the back stretch. As Fire Up comes up ahead. These two guys, oh, and they hit. And 2 of them are out. Oh, comes back in. The Alpha got destroyed there. Another safety car. Oh, my goodness gracious. Ghosting is off for today's race. It was off. It was on last week for Baku, as man Dolphin had a little spinneroo there. As we have another safety car. That was a big wreck. F1 Racer decided to pit under the safety car, and somehow he finds himself behind KGB. F1 racer was sitting P3, so he definitely lost a lot of positions there. He finds himself right back with KGB. So maybe it's not over for KGB. As we are down to 13 drivers here. Crazy, crazy scenes. A huge, huge wreck. I think that's Blanchimont going through that corner on the back stretch there. And man, the two of them, I think it was Steven and I forget the other guy. I think it might have been Dolphin. I'm not too sure. And they just kind of had that side pod contact, which sent the driver to do a little half spin into the wall, and then as he came back on track, Ultimate, the Terminator, that's his nickname, the Terminator. He got collected in it as well. As now you see Ben into the pits. You see Arrow and Blinn into the pits. They both... What did Blinn put on here? I'm interested to see. He does put the softs on. That probably isn't such a bad idea. Dolphin drive-through, speeding. That's probably not the worst idea. They're not going to get going until maybe the next one, or it's not this lap, it's going to be next lap, so we'll get going on to, on the lap of 14. We'll be going, and that'll be 2 laps that will be on this kind of slow speed. So I think this will actually work out for them. But who's out there that doesn't have to pit? Let's see the detail here. Alright, so everyone has made a stop. Okay, so everyone is... So these guys up in the front, the hard tire runners, they're going to get overtaken pretty quickly, I would assume. When you have 4 guys behind on the soft tires, doesn't look too good. Although Deathwish is probably in the best position. P2 on the mediums, they will probably last. And Gold Raider, he's good to go. So those guys on the front, maybe it's not Sir Charles. Sir Charles, maybe a little too many laps on those tires by the end of the race. But Deathwish and Gold Raider, if they could stay out of trouble, they can find themselves in a pretty good position. We'll just out. Caught up. Oh, it is back in this lap, so he's got to here. He's got to close back up before they get going without him. I think he'll be just fine. Sir Charles is the leader of this pack. He controls the restart. Our 3rd safety car, along with 1 VSC today. We've had more laps under yellow than we have green, which is not, you hate to see it, folks. You don't like to see it. But Sir Charles is gonna choose when he wants to go. Safety car is now into the pits. It's all up to the Renault driver. He's gonna go now. He's gonna go really early, as that's actually a really smart idea. Oh, we have Dorian. He messed up the chicane there. And that is a huge gap already. So that was a really nice opportunity. So everyone seems to get back going. Steven trying to make a move. He's going to have to wait, I would assume. And maybe now is the right opportunity for Steven to get position on the McLaren driver. No DRS again. Can somebody answer this in the comments? Did we have DRS enabled yet this race? Because I am not too sure. I don't think DRS has been enabled. I have no idea if it has. And if it has been enabled, it's been disabled. Because I have not seen one wing flap open yet. And we are on lap 13. And we won't see it for another few laps. So this is a very interesting race. Steven around the outside. Oh no, maybe he was trying to get overtaken by Arrow. Arrow was looking for the move. Arrow's also in a good position on the soft tires. Lead runner, he's going to try to make a move now. Man, he almost got squeezed out there. He's got to be careful. He's in a good position here. He can't lose it. And maybe into the bus stop, he's got an opportunity. And Nelsie says DRS has not been enabled. So we are halfway through this race with no DRS. That's remarkable. I've never seen that, at least in our little thing over here. Blinn closes right up to the back of Arrow. He sees his teammate ahead. Will he aid his teammate here? Will Steven slow up the Mercedes to get that Toro Rosso past? Not too sure. And Ben is out. I knew it'd come back to bite me. I just knew it. Ben is out into the middle sector. Seems like his car is still moving, so I don't know if he hit the retire button. If he did, that is not allowed. It looks like his car is still moving, so I'm pretty sure he hit the retire button. He's got to do that in the pits, so he doesn't cause a safety car to come out. But Dorian fastest first sector. And we have Arrow going on a move on Steven down the inside. Oh, pushes him a little wide, and he will take it. That's a nice move there. Maybe a little bit of elbows out, but to be honest, that looked all fair and square. Mercedes driver moves on up. He's having a wonderful race. Oh, who's that? Who is it? Steven! He goes for a spin. He's got plenty of time before the Williams comes. Alright, it'll be... I always get nervous when they try to rejoin. At least he didn't hit the reset button. I get nervous when that happens. Alright, so, man, I am still very confused on this race. The McLaren drivers have been really close together on track. Fire Up now will try to go for an overtake. We've seen him earlier in this race try to go for an overtake. He actually lost a few positions. As now, on lap 15, can we put it in the books? Can somebody write this down? Lap 15, DRS enabled. First time in this race, we will have DRS. So now we start, as we only have 7 laps left of this Grand Prix. That is a TCR record, I am sure of it. We'll have to confirm it though. I'm pretty sure it hasn't been enabled, but that's remarkable. That is crazy. So now Fire Up Flo will have DRS on his teammate. Arrow will also have DRS. KGB sets a fast lap. Fire Up goes down the inside in the chicane. He will take the position over his teammate. And Arrow, will he look for the same move he did on the Toro Rosso driver? Down the inside, no. Fire Up also goes a little bit deep there. You have Blinn, F1 Racer. Maybe a little bit of a lag, either on F1 Racer's end. I think it's from F1 Racer. I know he had said something last week about it when he, 2 weeks ago when he had won his race. So hopefully that sorts itself out. But we got a nice train here. Trying to get a good camera angle. As Gold Raider is only half a second off of Dorian for the podium. And we got to focus up front because these guys have a good gap ahead. These guys have a really nice gap. The Renaults and Deathwish. And they have a shot to win this race. They're going to have to do some tire management. I don't know if they'll be able to get to the end. Maybe not Sir Charles, but he's going to have to do some tire management. These two might be fine. He'll definitely be fine. As we have Blinn and Arrow. I'm going to watch this battle for a little bit as the front gets sorted out. Arrow's trying to overtake the McLaren. Will he do it before Rouge? Who is going to lift here? It is Arrow. He does slightly lift there. So McLaren driver still ahead. DRS is enabled. Blinn is looking right behind these guys. So Arrow is going to make the move. up to P6. And Blin's got to think to himself, he's got to do the same thing if he wants to have a shot at the win. This is really anybody's race. Because you guys, these two here on the softs, they're going to be the quickest, probably towards the end of for the rest of the Grand Prix. And then you got some medium runners and also some hard runners. So depending if the tires last or not. But Arrows closed pretty quickly up onto the next McLaren here. There's no rain in the race. I don't think there's rain coming. I'm not going to throw that, oh, it looks like there's a cloud in the sky, maybe it'll rain. You hear it every week. I think it'll be fine. But there was rain in qualifying, and that's where KGB had got his pole in the intermediate conditions. It's Deathwish. Also, some time penalties going around here, so that's another thing we'll have to look at, as we have Dolphin in the back had a little yellow. But here's the action right here. Blin machine on F-ball, and he's going to go down the inside. He's going to get that move quite easily. He's got that preferred tire. Now he's got to close up a second onto the other McLaren driver to keep up with Arrow, who has just been very, very quick. As F-ball also loses another position there to the Mercedes driver, so he is moving down pretty quickly as these guys with the better tires start to move up. So we see that gap up in the front start to come down between Sir Charles and Death Wish. We will keep an eye on that. It's really all up for grabs into the closing laps of this race. I feel like the race really just got started. Alright, so coming back to the front, the Haas is closing in. Deathwish is closing in on the lead. 4 laps younger tires. And he's going to have DRS coming to the straightaway. I think he does have a time penalty, so this could still be anyone's race. It could be Dorian. He might be in a nice position. I honestly don't know. This is crazy. Sir Charles is going to defend this, and I don't blame him. He's going to keep position, so he's going to last another few corners here. Arrow gets past Gold Raider. Fire Up is trying to overtake Blin, and he does. So he defends that position off, rather. Oh, and who's that? Fire Up. Does he save it? And he's into the wall. He's got wind damage. He's going to keep going, though. But, man, did he have a little bit of an issue. He should be fine to continue this race. It's pretty hefty damage on the right side, but in the closing laps, I think he could stick it out and maybe finish P9, maybe higher up on penalties, but we will see. Coming back to the front, and we'll stick up front for a little while. Deathwish, will he make a move into the bus stop? Will he make it on the front stretch, or will he just wait because he thinks Sir Charles might have to pit? And no, he doesn't. So Sir Charles is definitely gonna be, those tires are probably very, very worn out, as he's got 4 laps to go to hold on for this win. And And if he wins this race, Sir Charles is right back in the hunt for this championship. This would arguably, I think this would put him, now, I'm no mathematician, but as we worry about that, Death Wish will go for a move. And he does get around the outside. That's a nice move there. So the Haas is now in the lead, but with penalties, I'm not too sure. All right. Down for P3, the final podium position. Arrow is closed up on those soft tires, and he should get past relatively easy. And he might get it now. Dorian made a little bit of a mistake. Wow, it's very close between the two. As Arrow is going to make position, they make contact. As this is just going to end bad. Never mind. It's alright. We're good. Oh, Sir Charles is coming back at him. Oh, man. When I thought Sir Charles was done, Sir Charles is coming back. He's got 3 laps left in this race. Whatever your tires are at, they're at. I'm not too sure what his wear is, but it seems a lot of laps on those tires. He pitted very early into this race. Probably the first safety car. He just stuck it out all the way till now. Although no matter who wins, as we have Dorian coming back by the Mercedes, so Dorian is keeping his podium. He is not going to let him take it so easily. Whoever wins this race, I don't think was on anyone's radar. At least for me, I had none of these guys picked. Even on my podium, it just shows how this safety car, this race, shook a lot of things up. And the championship is going to look a little different, I would think. Trying to capture the two battles going on here. We got one for the lead, and then we got one for the podium, which could also be the lead when all said and done. As Arrow looks, I think he's going to have to wait a little bit longer if he wants to make that move. He might, never mind, he had such great speed and into the chicane. He's going to make sure he's going to stay ahead. But with DRS, Dorian might come back and do the same move he did. And this battling is going to help Lynn and the rest of the gang to come on up. So you guys see the 3 in the background. 2 laps left to this race. Dorian does not get position, so Arrow, I think with this full lap on the soft tires, I think he'll be able to get ahead. We have a caution up in a Rouge. It's Steven, and he retired as well. Also not allowed to retire on track. I keep stressing this to the drivers, just because, I mean, you probably wouldn't get a safety car here, but you're not supposed to be doing that. It's a bad habit. So hopefully we don't do that no more. But I don't think we'll get any more safety cars, because I think we've had our fair share. But this little group here, from Mercedes to Mercedes, so from Arrow, Dorian, Blinn, Gold Raider, and F1 Racer, you have a nice train. Or maybe not a train. Arrow is actually kind of ahead. But this is with a bunch of penalties. We don't know how this race is going to end. We're going on to the final lap here. So a few more opportunities to make position. As Blinn is going to try it now into turn 1, which might not be the smartest thing. Maybe if he could backdooring up a little bit, he might get a good run up through a Rouge and onto the straight. But it's going to be Dorian already so close. He's going to have DRS on the Toro Rosso driver. He's going to lose position here. So you got to be strategic when you make your moves here at Spa, because otherwise you're going to see what you just saw. Back up the front, Deathwish Tricky had pulled a 2-second lead over Sir Charles. With penalties, I'm not too sure who will win, but if Deathwish does have time penalties, which I know he does, I don't know about Sir Charles. Sir Charles could win this race. So we will see who comes out on top here as we go through the bus stop chicane one final time. Deathwish to the line. Will it be him who takes victory? No, it's not Sir Charles. Sir Charles wins in Spa. Blinn, machine on P3. P4 for F1 Racer Arrow, P5 Golden Raider, P6 Dorian, F-Ball, KGB crosses the line. Where will he be? I think he's a little too far back. He will stay 9th. And Fire Up, who we've seen get a bunch of penalties in the last few laps. At that wing damage, finishes P10. But with Dolphin coming through, will Dolphin get position because Fire Up had so many? Let's see. Nope, he does say P11, so a little bit of a crazy race, but it's Sir Charles who takes... Wait, hold up. That's his first win in TCR. He's had 5 podiums this season. 4 third places, 1 second place, sitting P4 in the championship. And because of this, he picks up 10 full points on Blinn, and he is right back into the championship. He will have to do some work in the final 4 races, as do any of the contenders. But that race was wasn't one on track, but with penalties, Sir Charles does get it. So I don't know what Deathwish got his penalty for, but I will see right here to see. Maybe we can. Might have just been a time penalty thing, but if he gets a remove, Deathwish could maybe get. It was an exceeding track limit one, so I don't know. We'll have to take a look. But as of right now, Sir Charles is your winner. And because it's his first race, we will invite him in. Just Sir Charles for tonight, since I am alone, and I don't want to be sitting on the blue screen for a while. But if you have any questions for Sir Charles, please let me know. And other than that, don't forget, everyone, tune in tomorrow, Golden Class, 8:15 p.m. Eastern for the Belgian Grand Prix, and then our Premier Platinum Class division is on Thursday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, next week we are off, but don't forget to come back when we do race Brazil in 2 weeks' time. Alright, let me see if I could get Sir Charles here.
me?
Yep. Welcome.
Alright.
Before we start, do you have your audio sharing settings on?
It was on last time, and I hadn't changed it since then, so
Alright.
it's a
What
yes.
what car are you in? Renault?
For now, yeah.
Alright, I forget. Oops, what did I do?
It's gonna be
Alright.
interesting.
Okay. Let's just see. We hear you, so we're all good. So, your first, now, if it stands, I don't know what Death Wish's penalty is looking
Yeah.
like. So it's going to be an if, but if
You invited him here to see what he says about it, or I'm sure I'll talk to him afterwards. But
uh, I did not, but
okay,
we'll see. It was just one penalty. I think it was exceeding
yeah.
track limits, but we will
It was
see
yeah. It
if
was a
it does
5 second
stand.
penalty because I was 2.3 behind him and ended up 2.6 ahead of him. So
Yeah. So I'm not too sure where he picked it up. If he'll try to remove it, but at the moment, this is your first Grand Prix win
mhm.
when you really didn't cross the line first, but you pick up the win. Does it feel as good?
I mean, I don't know really how it feels right now because, like I said,
You don't know yet.
Deathwish probably got a 5 second penalty, and it could be one of those dicey ones under safety car. So, like you said, if it stands, but regardless, like I don't know, this feels really good just because. I mean, well, just because how much. I mean, you saw how much I was struggling at this track yesterday, and I pretty much threw the kitchen sink at the setup before the race today, and found something that worked for me, and I just the car was comfortable, and I just put in solid laps. Strategy really kind of fell into my lap, so fortunately, I didn't have to do a whole lot, but like I said, just put in consistent laps and don't make any mistakes.
All right. Well, it looks like that kitchen sink setup worked pretty well.
Yeah, it
You
definitely
got
did.
some help with the safety cars. Strategy worked out in your favor, and regardless, P1, P2. However, we'll have to have a look and see. You do close in a couple points in the championship, and into the closing four races, you still do have a shot.
Yeah,
You
man.
have that extra little gear that you've been saving for this year?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I don't know. I'm pretty confident and excited about the next couple tracks coming up. Like I said, I know Brazil and Canada both. They seem to have pretty good pace there. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to those rounds, and I think I can continue to just chip away at the points and you know, hopefully go into the final round close, at least with a shot. So yeah, it's definitely looking good, big picture wise too. And Dorian scored some decent points too, so that should close things up on the constructor side. I know he got a 10-second time penalty that he plans on appealing, so
All right, it's good to know.
that could move him up a spot or two. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah, good point stay, both driver standings and constructors wise. So
Awesome. Yeah, it was a very interesting race. A lot of it was run under safety car, but once we got going, we had some nice racing, and it was kind of g- good to see, that you were able to finish quite well today. After, like you said, our practice yesterday, you were struggling a little bit, and you know, it just shows what could possibly come when you have a switch in the setup, or maybe you were just thinking different, and then maybe you did have the speed. But so yeah, so that's cool to see. So just once again, everyone, next week we are off. We still have Belgium Golden Class Platinum set for tomorrow and Thursday. When we come back, we are at Brazil. Uh, Link in description for our website and affiliation link with Fanatec if you guys want to check that out. Before heading off, I'd appreciate if everyone hits that like button if you guys enjoyed, and consider subscribing if you aren't already. And then other than that, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Golden Class. Until then, good night, everybody.